Hello. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to a new method of me doing my podcast as we will do podcasts live from now. My name is Ariana Dieva, and guess what? We have some crazy news about the list. The list everyone wants released but has still yet to be released because, the PDFs that are in our administration currently right now are hiding them because they're on them, especially the biggest PDF, Trump. So, there's some information that came out from Ghislaine Maxwell as she told the DOJ she is unaware of any of Epstein's clients list. Insanity. I love how the Department of Justice is taking the word of a convicted felon. I guess it just makes sense at this point now. They're the swamp, right? He talked about a swamp. He was the swamp. He brought more swamp to the swamp. It's overflowing, beyond overflowing. It's drowning our country. But let's talk about it. Let's talk about this interview between the Department of Justice and Ghislaine Maxwell. For those of you who do not know, the list, the files, and everything that has to go along with Jeffrey Epstein has been a topic of conversation because Donald Trump has run on the fact that he wants that Epstein list out to the public because the public deserve to know. He ran on that for years. He ran on that, and now he is backtracked. He's, tacoed out. Trump always chickens out. He definitely tacoed out in regards to the Epstein list. He's telling his MAGA followers to shut up about it, forget about it, it has no meaning. Why are we mentioning dead people? And he's going on every rant possible to get our minds, or everyone's minds. Yeah, I would say everyone's minds, because it's not just MAGA who wants that list. It's everyone. We want to know who are the real criminals assaulting children in our world, and we deserve to know. And it's crazy that he's sitting here and he is literally hiding it. He's hiding it. It's insane for someone who ran on that as his... Where did my chat go? There it is. Why is it hiding it like that? 1 second. Live technical difficulties, right? Okay. Yeah. So he ran on that, and it's crazy that he is now in a position where he can release those files in regards to Epstein because they're there. He just is choosing not to because Trump is on the list. He's on it. We all know it. His followers know it. The maggots know it. Everyone knows that Donald Trump is not only on that list, but the things about him on that list are so incriminating that he will not survive the political backlash and the judicial backlash that would come from releasing those files. He would be in jail until the day he dies. And apparently he's dying very soon because he feels that way too. He said he wants to do right and go to God and go to heaven. Baby, do you know something we don't know? Are you gonna croak real quick? Let us know. Actually, no, don't. We want it to be a surprise. Hopefully it's one day soon. Not that I'm wishing, but you know what I mean. Come on. At this point, you're ruining everything. You're ruining everyone's daily lives. Get on with your life somewhere else. But Ghislaine Maxwell, let's talk about her interview with the Department of Justice. Right now, I'm getting this article from my Westlaw account. As a lot of you may know, I am studying to be a lawyer. I currently actually just finished up my legal studies degree and got my associates in that. Currently right now going into my bachelor's program and then into law school, hopefully. So that is my path. So I'm very interested in all of this that's going down with the Epstein files and Trump and just how it all works and how they are all getting away with it so cleanly. Like, it's insane. But then again, you have to think of the maggots that voted for him. They're the reason why he's getting away with this and doing whatever he damn well pleases with no checks. So, thank you, maggots, for putting a PDF into the office. You voted that in. So, let's get into this article. This article is from Westlaw. It's Reuters Legal. And we have a lot of authors on this one, but we're going to kind of go through this article and see what it says about Ghislaine Maxwell and her conversation with the, I hate that I don't have my chat up while this is not on there. Like, I don't understand why it's doing that. Like, just keep the chat up. It's weird. We'll fix it another day. Anyway, let's start this article from Westlaw, Reuters Legal. The tagline is Ghislaine Maxwell told DOJ she is unaware of any Epstein client list. That is a bold-faced lie. Again, why are we talking to liars and taking their words now when they were convicted of trafficking and hurting children? Like, why? Why? Someone explain it to me. Anyway, Ghislaine Maxwell, who is serving a 20-year prison sentence for helping Jeffrey Epstein sexually abuse underage girls, told a top Justice Department official in July. Remember, they had a whole meeting between her and a DOJ, and, you know, she got transferred out of one prison into another, which is a less maximum security prison. Crazy. Come on. Look at the track. Come on. Like, look at the timeline. We all know what's going down here. She's trading her soulless soul again for some sort of sweetheart deal with the administration of Donald Trump. And it's disgusting that they're letting them get away with this. It's pure disgusting. But let's continue on with this. Maxwell told a top Justice Department official in July that she was not aware of any client list belonging to the late financier and never saw President Donald Trump behave inappropriately, according to a transcript of the interview released on Friday. Maxwell said, "I never witnessed the president." Oh, they are smart. They are smart. See, I already caught that. The fact that she didn't say she didn't witness Donald Trump, she said she didn't witness the president. I'll get to that in a second. We'll explain it. "I never witnessed the president in any inappropriate setting in any way," Maxwell said, according to the transcript of her 2-day interview last month with Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche. "The president was never inappropriate with anybody." That is some tricky fucking bullshit, and someone fed her to say that. I'll tell you why. She never saw the president. Donald Trump was president from 2016 to 2020, and he's currently in his second term right now. She never saw the president. She never saw the president engage in any of these acts that are in question surrounding the files. She saying she never saw the president, okay? Not Donald Trump. She's referring to him as the president, which means she never saw the president in his terms conduct or engage in these kind of activities that are being brought into question and brought to light and brought in these files. So she's not lying technically, because, I mean, to my knowledge, I don't think they were in contact during his presidency years in regards to what everyone is alleging happened during the early 2000s and the late 90s with, you know, Epstein's Island and everything like that. So yeah, she's not lying. She never saw the president do any of these illegal acts, such as PDFing all the way around. I'm trying to watch my wording so like my videos don't get taken down. But yeah, she's saying she never witnessed the president. That's not a lie. She most likely didn't witness the president. She witnessed Donald Trump do things, but during his term as president, she never witnessed the president engage in these actions. So someone fed her this line because this not exonerates, but it's a loophole. That's what it is. This is what this is. She's not lying by saying, I never saw the president engage in any acts that were questionable or wrongdoing in any sense. That's not a lie. But when you take it apart and look at it, and she didn't say Donald Trump, she just said the president, which then puts the question in regards to his presidency, and during his presidency, did he do anything wrong? Not prior, but during. So that's very smart. Whoever fed her that line, very smart. During the interview, the imprisoned 63-year-old former British socialite also said she did not witness any sexual abuse by Epstein, her longtime boyfriend, and did not implicate any other prominent individuals in wrongdoing. So why was Epstein in jail then? Someone explain it to me. Why was Epstein in jail if there was no evidence of wrongdoing in regards to abuse by Epstein on underage minor children? Why was he in jail? Where did the evidence come from? Because it's was solid evidence to get him into a court. I mean, I'm pretty sure an attorney is not going to try and fight a case with no evidence. There was strong enough evidence to have Jeffrey Epstein put in and behind bars and utterly off the face of this earth to protect high-ranking people and individuals. So that right there, that's a lie. But that, she said, that wasn't a quote. That wasn't a quote, so I'm not going to quote that. That wasn't a quote from Ghislaine. This is, he kept a lot to himself, and he didn't like to share, Maxwell said, of Epstein. He was not a sharer, well, at least not with me. That's a little bit weird. The wording, I'm telling you guys, listen to the wording of how she is feeding or being fed these lines and regurgitating them. She is not implicating the president because they specifically asked about the president, right? She's not implicating any high-ranking or prominent individuals in wrongdoing because she's saying he didn't share anything with her. Epstein was quiet, shut-mouthed about everything he was doing. But somehow she was an accomplice to this? No, baby, you can't say you didn't know anything now after the trial wrapped and you were literally a part of the scheme, of the trafficking, of the underage abuse of children. You can't say that now. The Justice Department's release of the transcripts and audio recordings of Maxwell's interview comes amid intense public curiosity about Epstein, a multimillionaire who socialized with the cultural and political elite, and as Trump, a Republican, tries to tamp down a political crisis stemming from the Justice Department's decision not to release files from its investigation of Epstein despite its earlier pledges to do so. So let's go back to this real quick. If the British socialite Maxwell is saying that Epstein, her longtime boyfriend, and her have no history of this, no history of the facts that were brought during the whole trial, that there's nothing that can implicate her, him, or any prominent individuals, why the hell are you in jail right now? Why the hell have you been in jail? Why the hell was Epstein in jail? Because there was proof. And God be it right now. I'm telling you right now that when this is going to be major in regards to Trump's administration, it's going to be the biggest fail and the biggest skid mark. I mean, there's 1,000 skid marks on his administration, but the Epstein list and files is going to be the biggest skid mark and scandal, because right now not going to say guarantee, but I am alleging that this administration is doctoring up a fake list for the public, fake files for the public, fake news for the public. You know how they like to use fake news. They're doctoring it up, no doubt about it right now. And when they release them, it's going to be the biggest mistake of this administration's, because look at it. Look, prior to this administration, there was investigations into the Epstein case altogether. So you don't think prominent individuals in the government have access to these original documents, to these original depositions, to the trial court documents, to the discovery, to everything that lines up facts about who was on that island, about where people were trafficked? Come on. This was decades long of investigation. Pretty, I would say, short trial though. But this is a decades long of investigation into a man who trafficked minors, and these evil individuals in this administration, including the head honcho and the molding rotten orange himself, Trump, is protecting them because he's a part of the ring of disgusting PDFs. Okay? So let's continue on with this here. Maxwell spoke with Blanche on the condition that she not be prosecuted for any self-incriminating statements she were to make, but she could be prosecuted if she lied in the interview. And this is what I'm talking about. She didn't lie in the interview. She didn't lie. Like, she didn't lie. So far, from what I'm seeing in these quotes, the president didn't do anything. The president, when he was president, didn't do anything, right? The one lie that they can catch her in, though, is definitely the high-ranking individuals. What was this quote? Let me see. So this was the quote that I think was very telling. The president was never inappropriate with anybody. I keep saying that because it draws it to his presidency. It puts the in marker and out marker of her statement between his presidency. And I'm pretty sure he most likely wasn't engaging in these illegal activities during his presidency. Before his presidency? Sure. But the president? No, not at all. I don't know about this statement. He kept a lot to himself and he didn't like to share. He was not a sharer. Well, at least not with me. I don't know how she could contradict herself there. Because if she was trying to think from a legal argument perspective of how you could twist that so it's not that she's lying. He kept a lot to himself. I mean, I guess she's resolving herself of any information in a way that he didn't tell her. She didn't say he never told her anything. She's saying that he kept a lot to himself, which means he didn't share everything with her, which means she should not be implicated to the extent that she had been in regards to the trial and her sentencing. So that could be it as well. Maxwell was previously charged with perjury for lying in a 2016 deposition about her knowledge of Epstein alleged behavior, though prosecutors dropped those charges after a jury found her guilty of sex trafficking in 2021. So she has a track record of lying, and the DOJ is continuing to talk with this person as if she's a credible witness to exonerate Donald Trump from alleged wrongdoing of child trafficking and PDF behavior. Yeah, let's believe a liar, someone who was perjuring on a stand in 2016. Like, what? This is insane. Insane. During Maxwell's month-long trial in Manhattan, jurors heard emotional and explicit testimony from 4 women who said Maxwell recruited and groomed them for abuse by Epstein. 3 of the 4 said Maxwell herself touched their bare upper bodies or took part in the encounters, which often began as massages. Not only do you have witnesses, but you have victims. You're literally, this administration is disgusting. Effing disgusting. You're literally sitting here and calling victims and playing in their face on national television, on every station, on every news outlet, saying these victims are lying about their abuse that they suffered from PDFs. This administration is disgusting. Like, oh my God, this isn't just some case out in Nashville, Tennessee or something. No, this is a worldwide case that is getting major publicity. And for these women to come out and tell their stories, this is why women don't tell their stories, because you have a president and an administration telling them that they are effing liars. It's disgusting. It's so gross. So gross. Epstein died by suicide in a Manhattan jail cell in 2019 while awaiting trial on sex trafficking charges. He pleaded not guilty to. Yeah, that's what I forgot to mention. I keep saying that there was a trial. He was awaiting trial. I just, we all know what the truth was behind it, so we all just say he's guilty because we all know the truth behind it. It's no innocent until proven guilty here. I'm sorry, he's guilty. So, but he did plead not guilty. He just didn't make it to trial because apparently he himself. Epstein's death, coupled with his friendships with powerful people like Trump and former Democratic President Bill Clinton, has fueled conspiracy theories that other people were involved in his crimes and that he was murdered to cover that up. No one other than he and Maxwell have been charged with crimes. And here's the thing about the maggots. The maggots want that list, but they're going to change that goalpost as much as possible to save their dear rotting orange, the Cheeto dust monster. They're going to move that goalpost just enough to save that man from being implicated, such as trying to change legal ages of consent to 14. That's sickening. That's really sickening. Ugh. But yeah, Epstein's death, coupled with his friendships and with powerful people like Trump and that's what I was gonna say. That's the difference between the maggots and normal human beings. We want everyone to be held accountable in regards to this whole disgusting, sloppy, low down, gutter snipe ass position that this government is protecting with the PDFs around, not just in the nation, but around the world, because it is a ring, okay? We want everyone to be held accountable, no matter if they are Democrats, if they are Republicans, if they are independents, if they are private citizens, if they are in the public, if they are P. Diddy, if they are Bill Clinton. We don't care who it is. If it was Beyonce, we would want it held accountable. That's the difference between normal people and cults. Because the maggots are in cults. They are in a cult. And they will move that goalpost for Trump as much as possible, as much as they can. And it's sick. It's sad. It's sick and sad to see. Blanche asked Maxwell if Epstein maintained any quote-unquote client list. She responded, "There is no list that I am aware of." You know what? She may be aware of I don't disbelieve her on this one, on that statement. I don't disbelieve her on that statement, but I don't believe her either. So I'm adjudicating her as a liar still. I don't believe her then. If I can't sit here and say that I believe you, then you're a liar. So I don't believe that there is a list that you are not aware of, Maxwell. I think you're aware of people, even if it's not a physical list. I think you're aware of a plethora of people in your mind that creates a list of who engaged in these activities over the past 20 years. Maxwell, who pleaded not guilty to criminal charges brought against her in 2020, has asked the U.S. Supreme Court to overturn her conviction. David Marcus, Maxwell's attorney, said in a statement on Friday that the interview supports Maxwell's argument that she is innocent, which is sickening because she's a liar. She's a liar. Okay. Listen here. Just listen real quick. If you're around scum, you start to smell like scum. If you're around trash, the stench starts to get onto you. So I don't believe a word this woman is saying, because if she had a problem with what was going down, she saw anything that was illegal or disgusting or disturbing, like for women who have claimed massages turned into abuse. If she was a good human being, a good soul, and a good woman, she would have stood up and yelled it from the rooftops. Instead, she sat there in silence and participated in the activities that abused and mentally screwed up many of women and children. So don't come over here saying the answer she supplied to you guys supported her innocence. It's crazy. I'm sorry, my laugh is so loud when it comes to this, but she supported her answers with documents and other objective evidence. Her demeanor and credibility are clear for anyone to hear, Marcus said. If it was so clear, why was she charged and sentenced? Why didn't anyone hear this story and believe her when she was on trial? Like, someone explain it to me. It doesn't make any sense. But that's the thing with this administration. Nothing makes sense. It's all a bunch of just disgusting swamp-ass people. Marcus has previously said that Maxwell has not held discussions with Trump about a possible pardon, but that she would welcome relief. Very cordial. Blanche's interview of Maxwell on July 24th and July 25th came as Trump sought to quell criticism from his conservative base of supporters and congressional Democrats over the Justice Department's decision not to release the files. I don't know who his strategist is. Hire me. Well, actually, no, I don't want to work for you. But I am launching my own business, crisis strategist. But that's another topic for another time. But I want to know who his strategist is. Like, who would tell or promote any sort of connection or conversation or communication with Giselle right after Trump is being criticized for not releasing the files because allegedly he is a part of them, in them, and embedded in them in a really derogatory, disgusting, and illegal way that could cause him to do time. Why would you then go? He said he had no knowledge that this was happening, right? Why would anyone from the Justice Department, like, you knew this was happening. You knew. So why didn't you as president say, this is not a good idea? We need no communication with this person because we need to distance ourselves from this mess. We need to distance ourselves from that person. Instead, you go right into the den of the liar and try and get us to believe that she's not a liar when she's been convicted for she was on trial for perjury in 2016. Like, where is the people with brains around him? Like, it doesn't make any sense. It just looks very bad, very calculating, and it doesn't look good for Trump right now. It just doesn't. And I'm totally okay with that because I don't like that man. I wish I didn't know that man. You know what I'm saying? I wish that man wasn't all the way on my socials 24/7. By the way, my following JD Vance 24/7 on Facebook. I logged in on Facebook like a week ago. I was following him. I was like, I would never do that. So I unfollowed him, and then all of a sudden I went back to Facebook, and all of a sudden his post kept popping up. I was like, I haven't followed you, bro. Why do you keep making me follow you? I would never do that. You're literally a failed drag queen who's trying to be a vice president but can't because literally the beer belly is just affecting you too much, bro. And that eyeliner, baby. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. I'm sorry I'm not reading the chats here because it's not popping up for me. It's not popping up for me. But Mighty Mouse, I see you. Thank you. I don't know why it's not popping up for me. It's insane. Like, I have the document here, but then, like, it's hiding when I put it away. I'll have to figure that out another time. But let's finish this up. Maxwell told Blanche she never saw Trump receive a message or engage in other inappropriate activity. Many of Epstein's alleged victims say their unwanted sexual encounters with him began as messages. Wait. Hold up. Let me reread that. I think I just got a little bit confused here. I was thinking about Trump. Hold up. So I get this straight. Maxwell told Blanche she never saw Trump receive a message or engage in other inappropriate activity. Many of Epstein's alleged victims say their unwanted sexual encounters with him began as messages. I don't believe her. That's a lie. And I want these victims to have proof. I want the evidence. I want the discovery of these messages, which I know is in those files, because that will, again, prove her to be a liar. And I hope someone, before they left the Biden's administration, has copies of every single file in the Epstein case in regards to all of it regarding Epstein. Untouched, unaltered files of this somewhere. Because once Trump releases, Trump's administration, because, he'll blame it on his administration. He'll never take fault for it. But once Trump's administration releases these doctored files, I hope someone is able to release the true, unaltered files of the Epstein files. Because it's going to be the biggest skid mark of all the trillions of skid marks on this administration. It's going to be the biggest scandal, I think, actually, in all of U.S. history. I will hands down put it down that way. This will be the hands down biggest scandal in all of U.S. history because it's Donald Trump and he's our president. So let's finish this up here. As far as I'm concerned, President Trump was always very cordial and very kind to me. Maxwell said according to the transcript. And I just want to say that I admire his extraordinary achievement in becoming the president now. Of course, everyone needs to stroke his ego, kiss the ring, kiss the kinkles, and the swollen veins that are going to cause him to any day. Yeah, that's how you get a pardon. Just, brush his ego, stroke his ego, brush his shoulders a little bit, kiss his feet, kiss those cankles. Oh, I bet they're nasty. But yeah, of course he has to go in that. His extraordinary achievement of becoming president. It is rare for a Justice Department official as senior as Blanche, who has also served as Trump's personal lawyer, to come on. That is conflicts of interest right there, right then and there. Not only is he in the Justice Department, but he also served Blanche as Trump's personal lawyer to directly interview a criminal defendant. Y'all are not thinking smart. The chess moves are not chessing, because right now you're playing Monopoly, and we trying to play chess here. It's crazy. Like, they are playing Monopoly and they are losing badly. And somehow, I mean, that makes sense. He's a bad businessman, so he is trying to play Monopoly and losing. It makes sense. Trump Monopoly losing totally makes sense. Maxwell said she worked with Bill Clinton on his philanthropic I can't pronounce that. Philanthropic. Philanthropic. Sorry, sometimes it takes me long to pronounce some big words. Philanthropic endeavors, and that he used Epstein's plane for a trip to Africa. But she said Clinton never visited Epstein's private island in the U.S. Virgin Islands, where Epstein was accused of abusing some girls. Oh, Ghislaine. I don't know. Well, I know what to think about this whole situation. I mean, it's insanity. It's crazy. It's sickening. It makes me want to throw up that they are literally trying to push down our throats a perjurer, a liar, an abuser, a child sex trafficker, and someone who engaged with PDF activities. It's sick. And the media is being a complicit part in it. Like, why is no one in the media just saying, this is a liar and we cannot believe her? I don't see the what's the word? The unbiased. I don't see the unbiased news reporting in this at all on really any news station. They're just giving the facts-ish about what happened while still diverging and diverting the narrative to say, hey, maybe she is telling the truth. It's sick. This is why you can't trust news sources, and that's why you need to come to me. I'll give you everything. I will tell you every angle, and I will tell you what's true or not. Trust me. I have no gain from this. But yeah, this whole Ghislaine Maxwell thing is insane to me. I don't like it. I think it is beyond corrupt. That's the word. It is beyond corrupt when it comes to this administration. It is beyond diabolical when it comes to the woman who spoke out about the abuse and is now being told to their faces that it never happened by not only one person, like a judge, but by millions of people, such as the maggots. And now the administration itself saying that basically these girls are lying about the abuse they suffered. It is very scary that we live in a time right now where, again, women who are victims are not believed because we need to protect the patriarchy, the PDF patriarchy. And I hope. What is my hope? I don't hope. Hope breeds eternal misery. I manifest that this administration is going to release the Epstein files. I think they are working very hard to try and comb through and iron out and erase out the details pertaining to high-ranking individuals, not just Donald Trump. Anything that could implicate Donald Trump through anyone else. It's a whole network. And I think they're doing their best right now. I'm alleging they're doing their best right now to comb through those documents to release to the public so it doesn't implicate Trump or any high-ranking individuals that are connected to Donald Trump. And in that, I feel they are going to make a mistake because I feel before Biden's term ended, someone has the documents, the files, every bit of them, the unaltered versions of those files. And once Trump's administration makes that mistake of releasing the doctored files, the real files will come out, and it will be the biggest scandal in U.S. history. You heard it here first. Anyway, thank you guys for joining me on this episode. We're just talking about life. We're talking about the world. We're talking about how crazy everything really is and how this administration is sick and wild and unhinged. And stay tuned for more. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel right here. And I will talk to you guys on the next episode. Bye.